A big part of the appeal of the Five Nights at Freddy's games is the atmosphere. The games are great not just because of the characters and the lore, but because of the creepy atmosphere that their locations help to create. Locations are exceedingly important in the game, as well as many other horror survival games, as it is through exploring them that you find a way to defend yourself and sometimes even to escape the animatronics who are pursuing you, or the monsters that are pursuing you, if it's not FNAF, or at least to survive until you can be rescued. Today we'll be exploring some of the creepier and more important locations in the game, and their role as we count down the top 10 scary FNAF locations. And be sure to stick around to the end of this list where I will have some bonus content coming your way. Alright, let's get counting. Number 10, Fredbears Family Diner. Fredbears Family Diner is one of the more terrifying locations in the game, simply because it's so mysterious. This location provides more horror in the lore and in the lack of knowledge that we have about it, as opposed to direct atmosphere. The Fredbear Family Diner has been associated with the Bite of 83 and was the first Freddy-related location. Its animatronic stars, Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, would go on to inspire the animatronics that we saw in the original game, Golden Freddy as well as Freddy Fazbear and Bonnie. In the FNAF book, The Silver Eyes, this location is involved in the kidnapping of a child. Charlie, or Charlotte, one of the founders of the restaurant Henry's daughter, finds herself kidnapped by William Afton in the book, while he's disguised as Spring Bonnie. Eventually, Afton would also be responsible for Charlie's death. Number 9, Circus Baby's Pizza World. Circus Baby's Pizza World was closed before it even had its grand opening, and is referred to in the game's sister location. It was the restaurant created by William Afton after Fredbear's Family Diner closed, or one of the restaurants. Circus Baby was its lead animatronic, joined by her friends and animatronic bandmates, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy. This location is likely where Elizabeth Afton snuck off to play with Circus Baby alone, resulting in her death when something went wrong with Baby, causing the animatronic to kill Elizabeth. Number 8, Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental. After the restaurants were closed down, a rental location was opened to rent out the animatronics not being otherwise used. Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental is the main location of the FNAF game sister location. As the player, you get to explore this new location in the role of a newly hired animatronic maintenance worker named Mike, who is referred to by the artificial interface as Eggs Benedict. One of the most unsettling things about the locations is that you often have to crawl from room to room in dark vents, and you are forced to shock the animatronics into performing daily. I don't know about you, but if someone was like, just shock that animatronic, it'll be fine, I'd be like, I'm not doing that. Number 7, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So obviously there has likely been more than one location with this name, and it's been alluded to that there have been multiple that have opened and closed their doors. But for the purpose of this list, I would like to focus on the location that we first work in FNAF 1, the very first Freddy's that we as the players get to experience. This location is the most iconic, simple, and was the first one to start us off on this wacky FNAF roller coaster. It is the location that originally struck fear into gamers' hearts, and its success is what helped the franchise to expand and grow. Freddy Fazbear's has multiple areas for you to monitor from the safety of your office. Safety. There's no safety in that game. This location is actually revealed to be shutting down later in the year due to not being able to attract a new buyer and a lack of revenue. This lack of revenue also affects how much power you can use during your shift, meaning that you can only check your cameras, flash your doorway lights, and close your doors for so long before you'll run out of power and be completely vulnerable to attacks from the animatronics. Number 6. Fazbears Fright. This is the location of FNAF 3. Fazbears Fright was actually a horror attraction similar to a haunted house intended to be an exact replica of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The horrific rumors surrounding the restaurant franchise provided the allure for people to visit and hopefully, get a little spooked. That's what we do at horror attractions. This location even managed to get their hands on an animatronic, which you later discover is Springtrap. After surviving the 6th night in the game, you discover that Fazbears Fright has burned down. In sister location, the burned Fazbears Fright appears in an unlockable cutscene as well, which reveals that Springtrap actually still roams its charred halls. Number 5. Salvage Room. This is a location belonging to the game Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. After finishing your shift, you get to visit this room and get the chance to salvage animatronics for cash. If you choose not to salvage the animatronics, you won't get paid, but if you choose to salvage, you'll get paid. But you'll also run the risk of, being killed by the animatronic that you're working to salvage. The room is also just eerie, as it's mostly shrouded in darkness. There's only one single light bulb hanging that mostly illuminates the animatronic you are working on and your work table. Not spooky at all. Number 4. Vents. The vents are a location used in multiple different facilities throughout the different FNAF games. Whether you are crawling through them yourself or just monitoring them from afar to make sure no animatronics are in there, the vents are frightening. Now, animatronics typically crawl through them to sneak up on you, surprise you, and, well, ultimately kill you, which is why I don't like them. Sometimes it's too dark in those vents, and I'm like, you can't see what's coming. Gotta really listen. Number 3. Bedroom. The bedroom is one of the main locations in FNAF 4, where you as a child hide from the nightmarish versions of the animatronics who are tormenting you, stalking around your home and trying to catch you, and probably kill you. The bedroom is large and dark, and you only have a flashlight to protect you. It's kind of like the original game's office, except in this version, you are a child armed with just a flashlight to protect you, and no monitors to really see what exactly is coming at you. You are forced to run from location to location in the bedroom to shine your flashlight and check for animatronic monsters as you attempt to survive the night until 6 a.m. in the morning, when you will be safe for the entire day. Until it's night again, and then you do it all again. That's how these games go. Number 2, The Office. Once again, we are going back to where it all started. There have been many offices since, of course, but the office from the first Five Nights at Freddy's is, well, it's where it all started. This office isn't just terrifying because of the creepy Freddy posters, the creepy cameras you can monitor from within, or because of what might be lurking just outside the hallway. It's terrifying because you can't leave it. The first game and what the office represents in it is the interesting and frightening take on survival horror that Scott Cawthon gave us with this game. A survival horror where you can't fight or run, you can't get away, and where you can't completely barricade yourself in a room even. He made just sitting alone in an office a terrifying experience. But what could be more frightening than The Office? Number 1, The Scooping Room. As if the first time that you arrive at this location isn't terrifying enough, Sister Location found a way to elevate the horror of this location further when it took you right into the heart of the scooping room, placing you in the machine's clutches itself when you were guided to it by Circus Baby during the true ending of Sister Location. The room is frightening not just because of the darkness and ambiance, but because of what happens here. The character you play as, Eggs Benedict, aka Mike, is killed by the scooping machine, with his guts being scooped out as though he were an animatronic himself, which of course, he will sort of become one. Granted, he weirdly enough goes on to survive. Well, like he dies, but then he comes back. It's a little confusing. But just the horror behind the idea of having your insides scooped out is enough to take this location to the number 1 spot of our list. I definitely would not want to go to the scooping room. Whether it be inside a suit myself where I have to tighten all those screws, or whether it be where I have my inside scooped out and have an endoskeleton put in me. Either way, does not sound fun. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed exploring some of the more frightening locations behind the FNAF franchise. Honestly, though, so many of them are scary. What do you think is the most frightening location explored in the game? Do you agree with the ones we put here? Do you think something else is more scary? Would you actually visit Freddy Fazbear's location in real life if you could? Are you brave enough? What do you think is the least scary location as well in the games? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Scary Balloon Boy Facts. Tristan Griffiths comments, "It's creepy that Balloon Boy does not really have an endoskeleton." I agree. I just think how easy it would be for William Afton to put a small corpse in there, and it freaks me out. Space Lightning Game comments, "My older friends got scared when I played the Balloon Boy sounds at 3 a.m. I really enjoyed it." I know I'm mean. Okay, so this comment actually made me giggle so much. I think it's really funny that you did this. I agree that it's also kind of mean, but it's also pretty hilarious. I feel like I definitely need to prank someone with that trick. Around 1 at 3 a.m. I'm just gonna randomly play Balloon Boy sounds.
Hello. Hi.
Stop that. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and your feels shouted out in a future video. This has been Top 10 Gaming, and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight, reminding you to keep on gaming on. Pew pew!